In the following clip, you are going to see a situation in which an Uber driver who was sent to pick me up repeats directed conversation that apparently was given to him by someone in the RCMP, and he even says he spoke to someone in the RCMP because obviously they wanted me to know that they had told him to say these things. And so you'll notice he starts to go on during the ride. At first, he references a conversation that we had before, because this individual had been sent to pick me up on a previous occasion when I requested an Uber. And on that occasion, his personality seemed a little bit different. He was much more jovial, kind of upbeat. I noticed right away this time that his demeanor had changed somewhat, and he seems a little bit more cold. Maybe not openly cold, but noticeably a little bit more cold and not as extroverted as he had been on the previous occasion. But nonetheless, he then goes on to do directed conversation. And for those who don't know what directed conversation is, this is one of the tactics that is often utilized in these organized harassment campaigns as part of the psychological harassment. They will have people around you repeat things that are directed specifically towards you as an individual. Oftentimes it is something that only you will know about, and it could be a reference to something personal, something that you're doing in your home, something that you will know is directed specifically toward you. So in this conversation, it's a little bit more overt. A lot of times directed conversation is harder to prove because it's something that only you will know about, but in this case it's pretty clear he was told to say this to direct it at me because someone in either CSIS or the RCMP had contacted him and told him that I'm some type of a terrorist who sits on a laptop all day and lives in a basement or something like that. So because of all of these fake terror events that they've set up where they use these actors who they claim are males, single males who live in basements, staring at laptops all day. He's probably been told that about me. So of course he starts saying this, and I'm supposed to know immediately that he's referencing it towards me, but it's also supposed to be subtle so that he's not, saying it in a way that he's accusing me of anything like that. It's done in a subtle way, and so I believe someone within the RCMP or CSIS contacted him and told him to say these things, because on the previous occasion when this gentleman took me in the Uber, we had a good conversation. He was much more upbeat in his demeanor. At any rate, I'll play the video here, and you'll be able to tell it's pretty obvious he's doing directed conversation here, but they're trained to do it in a way where it's supposed to just seem natural. So it's not supposed to seem like they're trying to accuse you of being a terrorist, but in a subtle way, you can tell that he is hinting at that. And so we'll just play that clip here. And also, one thing that comes to mind is, I don't know for sure whether this guy actually knows that a lot of these quote-unquote events that the RCMP and CSIS put together are fake and staged and are just being used to justify bringing in more of a police state. Whether he's been genuinely deceived by that, or whether he knows it's all fake and he's just being told to say this despite knowing it's fake. I don't know one way or the other. Maybe he's deceived, or maybe he knows it's all fake. Because they do have some people who are total psychopaths who can put on a front like they're nice people as well. So I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other. Our previous conversation, this gentleman seemed like a really good guy, but his demeanor has changed somewhat, and he's obviously directing this toward me with talking about these staged terror events. Also because of the fact that I've put out videos on some of the other sites, the ones that are supposedly free speech sites, but realistically they're all controlled by intelligence services, but some of them allow you to have a little bit more free speech, supposedly than YouTube does, where you can talk about some of these staged events. So he's also referencing that and trying to make it seem like anyone who looks into these things is a criminal or a terrorist. And it's interesting that he notes that just sitting in the house staring at a laptop, they've brought it to the point with CSIS and the RCMP harassing me criminally everywhere I go and sending people to do fake surveillance on me, that you don't really have a lot much more to do than stay inside and look at a laptop or read, you know? So again, it's just mockery, and it's being meant to be pointed directly at me with the subtle implication that I'm some sort of terrorist. And he was told to say these things. So I'll just play the clip here. It's the Uber driver being told to do directed conversation, most likely by someone in the RCMP, as he does reference that he spoke to someone directly in the RCMP. We'll play the clip here. Oh, did you? Okay, maybe you did. I don't know. I've taken quite a few Ubers from here. I don't remember, but yeah. Were you the guy who lives right around here, or is that somebody else? Okay, yeah, I know there was one guy who told me he lives right down the street there. Okay. Oh, were you the guy who told me that about the murder? I remember, you know. Yeah. It was, yeah. No, I remember it. Yeah, I never brought it up. I wouldn't say anything to anyone at my work.
No, it doesn't matter. It's not like a secret. Something happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump says something and somebody goes after him. You know,
yeah.
Weirdo people that.
Exactly.
Guys who's living in a basement in their homes and just chatting on a laptop or a computer all day, and they do something bad. They just come out, do something bad, and they go hiding in.
Is that what they say? Yeah.
What they say. That's the most dangerous people.
Single guys in the basement on a laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
They just,
That's what the RCMP says? Okay.
it's like,
We better trust what they say.
Yeah, it's like
They wouldn't lie to us.
The people are not benefiting anything from them, but when they come out to harm.
Here, he is clearly referencing some of the fake staged terror events that the RCMP, CSIS, and Canadian Freemason police have used in coordination with Canadian state propaganda media networks to attempt to deceive the public into accepting more and more surveillance, a total loss of privacy, and the loss of the basic rights to freedom of expression and freedom of speech, as they try to deceptively justify continually pushing forward with the implementation of their Orwellian police state. Whoever told him to repeat this script knows that I am fully awake to this deception, so they are having him say these things to mock me, and they know that I will understand that he was contacted and told to say these things. Yeah.
You remember in Toronto one time, this guy, he hits women, and he was like, he took a van in the downtown Toronto, and there's a bunch of women who were walking or celebrating something, and he hit them with his van. That was in Toronto.
Yeah. This was a completely fake and staged event that the driver is referencing. I even have a video which shows the same actor who they paid to recite a script pretending that he saw the supposed van attack also being used by CSIS and the RCMP to criminally stalk and harass another whistleblower who they were targeting in one of their organized harassment campaigns. There are also numerous videos that very credibly debunk that entire event as being nothing more than a staged skit that was used to attempt to justify bringing in more and more armed police to supposedly quote-unquote protect the public from non-existent terror events. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. This is the personal thing that they're talking about. This guy who lives in a basement somewhere and nobody knows who he is. He never had any, just he sent like hate letters, like I hate this person, I hate this person.
Makes you wonder why that would happen. Yeah. It's strange.
Hate letter to everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't take these ones for seriously, these hate letters like this.
Oh yeah.
They do harm. Sometimes
yeah.
It's like that's it. He had enough and he wants to do something about it. Well,
the thing is, nowadays, the police can monitor anything like that. So they should know if somebody was going to do something like that. They should know right away who's going to do it and be able to stop it.
But the problem, they don't do anything. Like, they don't even go investigate them or
Yeah.
say anything to them. They leave them because you know what? They didn't do any harm.
Yeah.
But the problem, he's in the way to do
But
harm.
but if he's got messages where he's saying endorsing violence
Yes.
online,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that's evidence, right? So the
See
police.
how many schools in the state that, like, you know, these weirdo people, they go buy a gun and start shooting the schools, you know, like there's shootings. Like in the
Yeah.
state, it happens, thank God doesn't happen in Canada. You know, this is like
Yeah.
so weird because it's so easy to get a gun, right? In the States, it's very easy. It's much easier than Canada to get a gun.
Easy for criminals to get guns in Canada, that's for sure. Yeah. Police and criminals.
So these people, they always send like hate messages and, you know, I don't like my school, I'm gonna burn it down to the ground, and they don't do anything. They leave it until oops, oh, we had these messages online. Okay, we'll do something about it. Just go threaten the guy, you know, just make sure that he doesn't have weapons, doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to wait. Like, I mean, okay, we love the freedom, but sometimes, honestly, if your freedom is gonna hurt me, that's where it stops.
Yeah, so privacy ends, right?
Yeah,
At
yeah,
that point,
that's it.
right?
Yeah, your
That's
freedom
yeah.
is- Your freedom stop where my freedom
Well, then
stops.
after that happens, they bring in all the rules, right? So we got to have armed police everywhere, and keep everybody safe. That's how they do it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
These idiots out there that they
Yeah. Yeah.
do stuff like
Take right exit 121A toward Avenue. Cross.
Here come the police, looks like. I'm just gonna pick this up. Yeah, police here. Flashing the lights for nothing here. As you can see, there's no one on the road. It's completely quiet. Here they come. Watch this, sir. Yeah. Yeah, they gotta flash the lights for nothing because there's no one on the road. It's freezing cold. It's like minus 15. There's no one outside, but they gotta put their lights on just to make it look like they're dealing with something legitimate. There they go, huh? Wow. Excellent work there. Oh, they're doing a U-turn and coming back. It looks like. Yeah, it looks like they might have turned down there and they're coming back the other way. Or are they? Let's see. I don't see yet if they are. Light's still flashing there. Did they do a U-turn? Yeah, there you go. Hard at work as usual. Hard at work pretending to do work as usual. It's got to be a really strange situation when everything you do at your job is just pretending to do things that you're not actually doing. But I guess they're used to it by now. Here's a one headlight here. Notice the police just passed, and here's somebody at nighttime driving with one headlight on, endangering people's lives on the road. And you just saw the police pass there. Now, did he turn that on? It looks like he might have switched it back on after he passed. I thought I saw the one right side light illuminate briefly as he passed, so maybe he turned it back on there. I don't know. But at any rate, he's driving with one headlight, and you just saw the cops pass by there. Surprise, surprise. See some of it with those staged ice things, whatever they're doing, it's all fake too. That's all set up and staged, where Trump's sending those people in. It's really just an excuse to normalize seeing those types of people all throughout your cities, because eventually they're going to start oppressing the citizens, right? But the deceit, the inversion of Lucifer has to be to lie about all of it. So they're going to be lying and saying they're lying and trying to get the people who support the right on board, because they think it's actually being done for immigration. It's not at all. It's not. It's all just an act to normalize the presence of those people. And eventually, they're connected with the military as well. So they're getting them in there in the United States. They're normalizing the presence, but then they're lying to you through the media and saying it's being done for immigration. This again causes the necessary divide, the split that they want, so that two sides are at each other's throats, the left and the right. And so it works out perfectly in that regard. But really, it's just the truth of it is it's just about normalizing the presence of military personnel all throughout these cities. That's going to become more and more apparent in the future, I think. So, and there's going to be something, again, they have all this imagery that's out there, both in art and in films, and you see these people who they control getting these weird tattoos, even of people with those bizarre gas masks. And same guy coming back the other way. So it would seem to me, now this is probably going to be before the bus comes or before the police come back. He's coming back. I think this is the same person, is it, or is it somebody else? Yeah, it's like really cold tonight. Why would many people be out walking? But the way that's being done in the United States is it's just to normalize the presence of military personnel everywhere, because they don't want to do it in a way where it's really abrupt and it disturbs a lot of people, right? It has to be done in a subtle way just to normalize it. That's how they work. They condition people to these things subconsciously so that there's not any sort of real pushback. It just, they tell you that, okay, it's being done for, this is what you asked us to do, right? With the people who support Trump. They want immigration and all that. They want these people to be rounded up. So, therefore, they're going to support that. The ones who are still brainwashed enough to think that he is who he says he is, which he's obviously not. But they're going to support that. And also, these people have been brainwashed into thinking that their military are just wonderful people and anything that they do must be amazing and for the benefit of everyone. And it's just not the case. It's not the case. That the military has been fully infiltrated in the same way the police have, the same way the fire department, all these institutions for public service that you're supposed to trust have been fully infiltrated, and it's Freemasonry completely controlling these institutions. And they'll even openly say that. A lot of the employees have Masonic tattoos or Kabbalah related tattoos, and some of them won't even hide it. They'll say they're Masons too. So these Masonic institutions being used for all this deceit, all this subversion, and but that's one of their big things, I think, for Agenda 2030. I think they want the military in a lot of these cities, but again, they have to do it in a way that's subtle. They don't want to scare people with it too much, because then there'll be real legitimate protests and pushback. They want to get it to a point where it's gradual, but eventually it's going to turn into tyranny. There's no question. And this is why they disarmed pretty much everyone. Then in the United States, of course, they set up all these false fronts the same way they do here. Any group that seems to be opposed to these things, for the most part, is just a set-up organization connected with intelligence services. Online, definitely. They don't allow groups who oppose any of these things to thrive in any way. They can shut that stuff down. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's just opposing vaccines, they're going to provide you with fake groups who they set up who look legit. And that's one thing you got to understand by looking at enough of this material. None of these doctors who they bring out, like for example, that guy Rainer Folmar, he's not in prison. I'm sorry, but you got to be really slow to actually think he's in prison now. He's just one of their people. He's one of their people who they use because they don't want anyone who's grassroots, anyone who isn't controlled, having any say over these matters. They're going to give you fake opposition. They're going to give you fake heroes. They're going to tell you, oh, he's in prison. And so you're going to think, wow, what an admirable guy. He's doing time in prison for standing up for the truth. He's not in prison. They fake these things all the time. Look at, I mean, they fake these staged trials all the time. So that's the thing, is all these groups, all these people who they set up, who they claim are against these things, they really just work for the state. And I'm sorry to tell you that if you believe that, you know, there's pushback, genuine pushback. There are people who are against these things, but they don't get their voices heard. You know, they don't get their voices heard at all. That's why they do that. It's so that they can completely. They're not even worried about putting the truth out, because they will give people who speak genuine truth who they still control. So don't think that just because, you know, you see a bunch of people who are out there speaking 90% truth, that they're not controlled by the system. They are. That's one thing I've come to learn. Definitely they are. They control all what you see online. They control almost all of it. No one who's uncontrolled really has the initiative to persevere, because if you start doing that and you start putting information out online about that, speaking up against these things, they'll harass you online. They'll harass you when you go out. They'll do all this stuff. So who's going to go through that? And then they'll isolate you as well. They'll isolate you from support systems. They'll infiltrate people around you. And if you think that won't happen, I can tell you that 100% from what I've experienced, it does. So most people will just give up and say, I'm not going to do that. There's the police again there. Second time. This time not with the lights. As you can see, they just passed there. So going both directions. But, you know, because what they're going to do is the same people who they use to deceive, to put up false fronts, they'll have them, you know, rip off material that you create. They'll have them basically mob you online. They'll have nothing to do with you. They'll pretend that you don't exist. That's how you can tell they're fake. Because if someone who is uncontrolled comes out, they'll treat you like you have leprosy. So you know that. And they'll steal your material. They'll have people steal things that you're doing, because the intelligence services will be watching. Look at this car here where it's positioned here. So, like, yeah, all of that stuff is completely contrived. Completely contrived. And I learned that a few years back, too. So, you know, I'm not saying that to be overly cynical, but you got to be realistic. None of those people, that's what the internet was created for, okay? They gave you the illusion of freedom, and you know, that you could gain all this knowledge. Well, what did the devil do in the garden, right? The apple, the tree of life. If you eat of the tree of life, you will get knowledge. Yes, you will, but it comes at a cost. Predicted, that's what I am predicting it now. 38, okay, this is about right here. Let's see if this thing's actually hitting. What's the price of that? $18. Yeah, I'll get that. I need that. Okay, so what was the other thing I need? right. No one else is here. Okay, no one else is here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And right away, right over to where I am. So no one else in the area. And he walks right over to where I am. Look at over here. No one, right? Okay. No one there. And then right here, this one. No, it's not too. Nothing to see here. So there's absolutely no one here. And this guy walks right over to where I am at the belt there. Just noticed another guy. And starts pulling off right where I was. So there's no one else in this. It's completely empty and he's got to go right over there. And then security comes walking over directly toward me too. When I'm a security guard and I've literally just left my job as a security guard, just coming from work. And then they send security and this creepy guy here over to linger here, right next to where I am. Okay, yeah, you can see there's absolutely no one in that section. And that guy there walks right over to where I am by the belts, starts creepily lingering there right in front of me. And yeah. And then security also comes over at the same time, walks right over to me too. It's something to eat. Busy here on file. This guy might be a stalker here, the guy in the vest. Seems like the type. Anyway, let's just get on with what we're getting at. All that stuff is this looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, seems like a stalker, that guy. Keep an eye on that guy with the vest. He might show up when I exit. Yes, he's just stopping there waiting, staring ahead. Fire department's here. Let's check it out. Yeah, there's Jack from the Ottawa Fire Department right across from me, as you can see. In the lab. One of the stalking masons from the fire department just happens to be here in uniform as I'm in the Loblaws. Instead of sending the police, they send them to the pure coincidence. See, there he is, wearing the uniform too. Fire department. Pretending to browse there. Watch the act. First I thought it was a cop, but no, he's with the fire department. He's got the uniform on too. Obviously he's here because of my hair. Where else would he be coming in the uniform? The fire department uniform. Right across from me too, as you can see. And now he's consulting the phone. They're doing something a little different today. A little more subtle, but he's there. That's a firefighter there. Freemason, obviously. Because most of them are. Vast majority of them are males. Masons in the department. There he goes. So you saw he just showed up across from me in the Loblaws. Firefighter. I didn't see any fire truck out there, so I guess he came in his personal vehicle. Unless the fire truck's hidden parked on the other side. Maybe it's parked on the other side. Again, I'm carrying my phone, so they're tracking my location, obviously, with the phone. I don't need bread today. I have bread at home, so bypass that.
Yeah, an Ottawa Fire Department stalker sent into Loblaws. And that guy over there in the vest strikes me as like he might be with CSIS or the RCMP. He came in just a little in front, and as he came over to the section where he was, he just starts looking at a phone over there stalking. He just looks like the type, like either a military person, possibly CSIS, or undercover RCMP. The guy there with the vest on. And then of course the firefighter that was right across from me too. It just doesn't look like legitimate browsing because he's remaining in the same area. So, he's gonna come over here now. So. CSIS, this guy I'm pretty sure it's either CSIS or maybe the RCMP here. He's not even looking. I notice. That's fake browsing. He walks down and looks down. Usually when you come in here, you kind of know what you're gonna get, right? He's just walking back and forth. He's with CSIS or the RCMP. Could be undercover. But the firefighter there, that was interesting. Okay, I'm gonna move along. Let's see if this guy will probably follow me out. One of them will. Maybe the firefighter will follow me out. Let's see. He wasn't in Walmart though. If he was, I didn't see him. Okay. Yeah, that guy strikes me as one. He might follow me out, or the firefighter might follow me out. Let's see. Neither of them were in Walmart. That guy wasn't in Walmart when I was in there. But they made sure that I saw the firefighter because he was in a uniform too. Yeah, see, he's still looking at that guy just pacing back and forth to CSIS guy, or RCMP. I don't know if you can see him from here with the glasses at a distance, but he's still over there. Just fake browsing. That's the guy who I think might follow me out. The guy who I showed there wearing the vest. Remember, I'm predicting it now, or the firefighter might. Let's see. Obviously, they had him show up in uniform for a reason, so I'd see it, so I'd recognize him. But I didn't. Now security's coming again here. Well, so when I was in the Walmart, they sent security over, and now it's coming over again. Or is that a firefighter? Another firefighter, maybe. Let me just go there and see. Oh yeah, there's more firefighters over here, okay? They sent the whole squad in. There's probably a truck out there. Yeah, it is. It's firefighters. So 3 of them so far. 3 Ottawa firefighters in here. Just gonna get a look at their faces. But, why would they all be in here now when I'm in here? Like, you know why? Thanks for the thumbnail. Yeah. So 3 Ottawa firefighters. 1 that went down there and another 2 coming out here. Where's the truck parked, I wonder? They all had to do their grocery shopping now when I'm in here, right? Seems legit. Thanks for the thumbnail though, guys. Now they're going back there. Gotta keep them well fed when they're staging fake calls, you know. Oh, they're going to see, that's that guy from who I said, who looks like he's with CSIS. They're going over right over to where he is. Notice him pacing back and forth there. Okay. See, they go right over to him. And they're not even, look at them. They're just walking back and forth. Yeah, check it out. Just continue to walk back. So they went right over to him. Like, he's making a hand signal, that guy who and he's going over the other phone. Yeah, he just said something to the guy there. He could be RCMP or directed. So they're probably going to time their exit. Look at the act. So the other firefighter went down there. Here we go, right? Thank you. Just observe, casual. And both sides, so he's done up there. Yeah, working hard as always, right? And the Sonic Brotherhood. Yeah, fake browsing. It's interesting, this guy here wearing the Raiders looks like the guy who used to live in the house where I live, one of the tenants. I don't think that's him, but it looks a lot like him. Oh, that could be him. No, it's not him. It's back here again, the firefighter is back here again. Okay, he's gonna go back around. You had to find the onion there. Okay. Yeah, you'll notice that guy who I pointed out, the plainclothes guy wearing the vest. They both went over to him. But they didn't say anything. But it looked like he looked toward them, kind of nodded. So okay, no point. Is this military? Yeah. They got the fire department in here. They're doing something a little different today, but interesting nonetheless. They're waiting for me to exit too, right? They want to exit when I exit, or they're gonna have that guy. It could be that guy. He seems like he might be someone with CSIS kind of directing the operation. So they did that instead of sending. They might still send the cops. We'll see. Okay, I've been spending too long in this area. I'm gonna move on. They're keeping people safe from domestic terror as they stage fake events alongside the media. Okay, there we go. That's Chief Paul Hutt, the Freemason who's in charge of the Ottawa Fire Department. Sending his goons in here. Look at the act over there. Now they're pretending to look at the meat over there. Why would you all come in uniform? If you're, you know what I mean? Like if you're off duty, you'd see one of them doing it. But like, they all come in uniform and just fake browse when I'm in here. That's good, I mean. See if these are stalking firefighters. Brave heroes. Brave heroes keeping watch over the meat section and pretending to browse. It's Chief Paul Hutt's brave heroes there. I was dragging it on. This is still different here today. Quite amusing. Chief Hutt and Dan Rogers from CSIS using the fire department in here in Loblaws in Ottawa. Let's make sure they're performing their acting properly. Where's the... Yeah, there's the Brotherhood there. Yeah, brother. See, they're waiting to time their exit with when I leave, I think. Oh, and Mason there. Military here too. More people in the Loblaws than there was in the Walmart doing assignments. Okay, what else did I want? I got a couple things. This is a huge store. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's looking in the tampon section. The firefighter. Seems natural. He's looking in the tampons. Okay. Yes. Does that seem legit? Look what it's doing here. Okay. I'm just gonna go over here just to turn in a subtle way. I'll show you. You can see how fake this is. They've been sent here because I'm here, obviously. Where did he go? Down the diaper aisle? He was looking at tampons there now. Now he's looking at shampoo. Does that look natural to you? I was just pretending to browse here just to look at one. That's what he needs to get. And also on this side. Checking the phone again. Notice the tattoos on the hand there. Probably some Masonic symbols as well. I'm checking the phone. So you can see he's buying personal items while in uniform. All three of them come in to do. Are you seriously going to do that while you're on duty as a firefighter? Go in and buy all your groceries while in uniform? Of course not. You do that in your personal time. They're not paying these guys to go around buying groceries while in uniform. Yeah, he was in the tampon section. Okay. He has tattoos on his knuckles too. Some gang, one of the usual type of gang or occult gang tattoos that these guys have. They know that I'll understand why they're here. Okay, I'm gonna go back around. I don't even need to. I just came down to this section just to see if they'd follow. So they're showing up all over the store where I am. So Chief Paul Hutt's brave heroes doing amazing work as usual, pretending to browse in a Loblaws to follow me around. And this is how they fight domestic terror. These brave, heroic Masons. Okay.